Okay, I'm going to run through assembling the Cleveland low mount alternator bracket. Fairly straightforward. You've got your front plate and you've got your rear plate, which is the smaller of the two. You've got your bolts and your spacers that are provided, and we also have the Cleveland timing pointer. Sometimes these will be pre-assembled already in the packet for you like this. The hex bar will actually unscrew, and if you like, you can put a little bit of Loctite on that and then tighten it up. You'll never need to take that back off there again. Now the timing pointer will actually fix into this threaded hole here on the rear plate. So to do so, you get your timing pointer, you get the cap screw inside of there, and then you can just screw it into the rear plate. Now the way to set this up is you set this up loose now, and then once it's on the engine and the engine's at perfect top dead center, then you can adjust the spike to exactly where your zero position is on the harmonic balancer. For now, for the video, we'll just nip it up like that. So the first step with assembling the alternator bracket is the two 5/16 cap screws through the front plate. All the spacers are the same length, so just get two of the spacers, pop them in. Then you can get the longer of the two 3/8 cap screws, pop it into the rear plate. Now you get the front plate and put the cap screws through into the rear plate, and then now you'll see you're starting to assemble the bracket. What you can do next is you can get the extra spacer, and then now you have the whole bracket basically assembled on the bench, and then you can install it onto the engine in one go. Okay, so assembling this now onto the engine, we're going to take our alternator bracket, and then we're going to use the two holes that would traditionally be used on the Cleveland for the timing pointer. Now we're going to have those free already, and we're going to be using this earth tab on the Cleveland engine as well for the mounting. Now it's quite simple. Just pop the bracket over all of the holes, and then you can begin to tighten up all of the cap screws. My personal bit of advice with tightening up the cap screws is don't do them all tight to begin with. You want to leave some of the cap screws loose so the bracket has room to move for when we install the alternator. So the next thing, you're going to get the long 7/16 cap screw. You're going to get the alternator, and you're just going to pop it through and pop that. Now the alternator is going to rest. You can get the shorter 1-inch 3/8 cap screw now. And then you can just pop that into the adjustment slide, leaving that loose. You've got your washer and your 7/16 nylock nut onto the rear. This large 7/16 cap screw, as a rule of thumb, can be the absolute last thing that you tighten up. If you tighten it up too soon, you'll restrict your movement for the alternator and you won't be able to get your belt on. So now that's all on together, you can go and firm up the rest of your 5/16 cap screws. Then you can put your belt on. Most of the low mount setups will be using just the balancer only, so you can put your belt on. Once you've got your belt on, use this 3/8 cap screw down the bottom to adjust your tension, and then you can go around and finish tightening everything else up. Also, don't forget you've got your timing pointer. Get that set while you're there, and Loctite it in once you're finished. And that's it. That's how you set up the Cleveland low mount alternator bracket.